Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Anime Iceberg. I'm Megan,
And I'm Meg.
and we have two special guests. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm here with my co-host from the Haikyuu Summit podcast. My name is Hannah.
I'm Marley.
Yes, thanks so much for joining us. We are surprisingly not here to talk about Haikyuu, even though we have an episode. We have an episode about the movie, which is phenomenal, and I wish I could do a whole entire podcast on Haikyuu. And
But
but
there's already a really
there's
great
already good.
podcast out there.
Exactly. What's the point?
True.
We have a
Yeah,
lot of
but
episodes about Haikyuu, if that's what you're looking for.
yes, and they are excellent, and I can't wait for more because season four is pretty awesome. So, yeah, just besides the podcast, would you guys like to introduce yourselves a bit more? How's life? That kind of stuff.
Let's see. What else to say? I don't know. I feel like we probably talked last time about like how we got into anime,
Mm,
hmm
potentially. But I'm like Bungo Stray Dogs like has my whole heart, so I'm so excited to talk about it.
yes. You're the reason we watched it in the first place, honestly.
That makes me so
Ooh.
happy. I can't wait. But yeah, I don't know. Marley and I are like BFFs from back from high school, and we like stayed
But
in
not
touch
anymore. Now we're just
all the
co-hosts.
time. Now we're just yeah, we're friends, and now we're
Yeah.
like it's strictly business. No, I'm just kidding.
Same here with us, right, Meg?
Totally.
You're like, we get it. We understand.
Yeah, we have similar vibes, our podcasts. It's good.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead. Go
I am not as into Bungo Stray Dogs as Hannah is, unfortunately. I
ahead.
have, of course, under her influence, watched a good chunk of the first season. I was reading up on it. I was like, all right, let me refresh my memory. And I think I got to Kyoka.
Mm,
I think
hmm
that's kind of where I dropped off.
hmm
Um, so I'm not as much of a fan, although Hannah would love me to be. But
I
now she has you guys, so
yeah, but I feel like you stopped at a point where like it's good, but it hasn't gotten great yet. So there's a certain point you get to where you suddenly realize that you love it and you don't know how that
interesting.
happened.
You must. I mean, I feel like with Haikyuu, we were talking about. I think it was like episode 3, where we were like, okay, this is good, but I'm a lot more than 3 episodes into Bungo Stray Dogs, so I think it must be more of an acquired taste. Would you say?
Yeah, I think that's right. And Meg and I were talking about the allure of Haikyuu as well, and we said you have to meet Noya, and it's all good from there.
That's awesome.
That's good. Yeah, I like that.
Would you say that about a certain character in Bungo Stray Dogs? Is there a new person that comes along where you're like, okay, now that this is happening?
Odesaku
Yeah.
and Chuya.
Yes. Yes.
I have a joke
Otasaku is
about
a good one for sure.
yeah. I think with Chuya, my joke is it goes from Chuya to Chew yeah when you see him. But no, he's definitely like there was like this whole video essay somebody did on YouTube about Chuya, and she dubbed it the Chuya effect because it's when you have a side character who is kind of barely in the show compared to other characters, but just steals the spotlight whenever they're on screen, and that's totally Chuya.
That's interesting though, like Otasaku and Chuya both are like these, um, what's the word I'm trying to use? They just have such like an interesting dynamic with Dazai. So I feel like
Yeah.
that is where you like start getting more invested and you're like, oh, this is like the emotional side.
hmm
Dazai is just not like crazy and ridiculous. You like see
hmm
more of like his backstory and like the people that mean a lot to him.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think I really got into it till we saw Dazai's backstory, which I think is like the beginning of season 2.
Really?
I think
Maybe.
so.
Yeah.
I would agree with that because when we first started the show, I knew it had something to do with detectives, but I didn't know about any superpowers. So I was disappointed when there were superpowers because I thought it was going to be humans using their own intuition and abilities, like natural abilities to solve crime, and that's what I'm a fan of. And then when they got
Mhm.
the power system, I was like, oh no, it's your classic shonen superhero story.
Oh.
So
You're
it
not a
may be
fan of shonen superhero?
well, I'm a fan of like big fan of My Hero Academia and like
Right.
other powered shows, but
You
it
just
almost felt
weren't
like it
ready for
was
it for Bungo Stray Dogs.
right. It almost felt like it
Okay,
was
okay.
overdone. And I know I'm in the
Okay.
minority for saying that, but then Meg and I were watching an episode where the Americans came in and
Hmm.
Yes, I remember
um
that one.
yes, so I think we were actually at my house, like my hometown when we were watching that one because I remember us watching it and there was like Mark Twain and F. Scott Fitzgerald and we looked at each
Yeah.
other and went, "Wait, these are authors." And then we're like, "Are they all authors?" And we looked at the Japanese authors, we're like, "Dazai's an author."
I love that. I think that is so cool.
Yeah, so then it
And
got
the
more
word
interesting
like
and I like the powers.
yes. Yeah, there's like a thought behind all of it, which is really cool. It's
Hmm.
not like random. And I think like bungo translates to like literary, like
Yes, literary
literary stray
stray
dogs.
dogs.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
I
yeah, I
oh,
also was like, oh, detectives. I'm like, I love a good mystery. And then I watched it and
yeah.
I'm like, I love this show, but it's really not
Like,
about
what's
detectives.
happening?
There's
Mhm.
one detective.
how did
Yes, and
you
he's
find
Mhm.
my
it,
favorite.
Hannah? Because we found it because of you. How did you find it?
Oh, because of Steal the Spotlight on YouTube, who makes like she's like this Australian
Yeah.
YouTuber that makes like cool outfit videos and she's very like K-pop and anime inspired and stuff. And
Cool.
she talked about that being one of her favorites and she did like outfits based on it. And I love the aesthetic, like the
Yeah.
sort of academia style that they have. And
Uh-huh.
so that's look and she loves Haikyuu, so I was like, she obviously has good taste. That's why I watched it.
It's awesome. I think
Yeah.
this show is good for inspiring you to want to read more because I actually read a story by Dazai after watching it just to see how good of an author he
Cool.
was. Yeah, it was a novella and it was called The Schoolgirl. So I was a little wary going in because I'm like, okay, a man
I don't know
writing
if you
about a
saw my
schoolgirl.
face, but I was like,
Yeah, yeah. But he did a phenomenal job of writing from a teenage girl's perspective, and I was kind of floored by it.
Cool.
Cool. I
Hmm.
think each of their powers is named after one of their books too, which is cool. Like No Longer Human is like the name of his power, and that was one of his like most famous books.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
yeah, that makes it you're like, okay, it's not like just random. You're like, okay, that makes a little more sense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Although
Love it. Love
sometimes
it.
like we've looked up like some of the books and then like the powers and they like sometimes don't always make sense with the book. Like it seems
No,
more like just this would be a cool power. So
for
There's
sure.
only
Oh,
so
for
much you
sure.
can
Like it's
do.
named after a book, but it doesn't always correspond. And I thought I was like, why is it named that? And like, oh, it's the book. But that doesn't mean that it all matches up for sure.
Yeah. I like the ones based on poetry because I went and read the oh, what's Chuya's? Tainted Sorrow something something.
Mm.
I read the poem and I was like, ouch. This guy has deep emotions.
Uh,
But
Oh.
yeah, it was I don't know, it makes sense why it's so popular, especially in Japan, because it's like kids watching it are like, I just learned about him in school.
that would be so
Hmm.
cool. Like
Yeah.
that, I was like, we were excited when we were like, I know the name of that author, that American author. Like that was kind of exciting. So I can
Yeah.
totally understand why it would be popular in Japan.
Hmm.
Kind of taking a turn briefly away from Bungo Stray Dogs. Do you guys have a favorite anime? Would you say it's Haikyuu or would you say it's Bungo Stray Dogs or something else entirely?
I have not. I still haven't really watched any more anime. I need to. I just like haven't. I haven't been watching like a lot of shows in general. I've just been really
Mm.
busy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to say Haikyuu's not my favorite. I think they're just like very different, like Haikyuu and Bungo Stray Dogs. And Haikyuu is like it just brings out different emotions in me. Kind of a small Haikyuu's like a smaller scale. It's like high school sports. Nobody's dying.
Verdaichi.
Nobody's actually dying over here. Yeah. But I don't know. I love all the characters of both so much. But yeah, I don't know. I've gotten really attached to those Stray Dogs for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I watched Full Metal Alchemist. I've watched My Hero Academia. And I think those are the only ones I've fully watched. And I think I just have to say that Haikyuu is my favorite just because I'm so emotionally involved. We've been doing podcast for like 2 years or something. Yeah, and after that, I really liked both of those. Bungo Stray Dogs, though, I am having a harder time getting into it. It is a very unique show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think like
Anime.
yeah. Haikyuu just has like the best vibes, like nostalgic and comforting. Like that is like a true comfort show.
Exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
think people have said that too, like my comfort show. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Do you watch well, I know you've watched Haikyuu like sub and dub because the availability of both is spotty. But
Yep.
Bungo
Yeah.
Stray Dogs, do you usually watch that dub or sub?
I started it in dub because I hadn't I wasn't like as used to that at that point when I started it. But now I usually start with sub, and then if it's available, I'd love to watch the dub too, but tends to be hard to find. But I'm
Yeah,
more used to the subtitles, yeah.
yeah. We watched it
And
in dub, but it's like I don't know. That's one of those shows where like a lot of the dub voice actors, you hear them and then you go, oh, it's Gojo from JJK, or like you can
Yeah.
say I know
Mhm.
you from another. So it's kind of fun. It's like meeting old friends for us almost.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, for example, don't Dazai and Atsumu,
Oh, Atsumu, the
yeah,
sub voice actor, is that the same guy?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
Cool.
yeah,
Oh, that's
that was
cute.
kind of fun.
Yeah,
I
he's so
think I
good.
just
He has so much
watched,
attitude.
I think I
I do
watched
love the
the
Mia
six of them.
twins.
Yeah.
I think, and then he's Gojo too, I think.
Mm.
Oh, cool. I've never
And
watched that,
then
but that's a cool character.
Yeah.
Makes
yeah,
sense.
I try to think if there's any other like let's see, Bungo Stray Dogs, Haikyuu. Meg, do you remember if there's any other voice actors who are between the two, like both in the same?
I don't know. I honestly, it's been I think a year since we finished Bungo Stray Dogs, so
Yeah.
I don't remember. All I
There's a
know
lot
is
of
that Gojo
there's a
and
lot of
Dazai have the same
yes.
English voice actor.
And then Shuya and Junpei / Toji in JJK. They double up a lot on that
Oh,
show.
interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I
But I
also,
digress.
oh, I just like always love the fact that Chuya's voice actor is like in a really famous band in Japan and sings some of the
Yeah.
theme songs. I love that.
Yeah. Isn't it
And
Tanizaki and Shuya who both are
yes, I was just gonna say,
the
yep,
gingers?
Tanizaki is also in a band and sings a different of the theme songs. Different
That's
one.
so cool.
Yeah, I think that's
Such
pretty
great
common
voices.
for voice actors in Japan. A lot of them sing.
Really? Just have
Yeah.
good voices for speaking and singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually true for English dub voice actors because they find that it's like easier. They have an easier time like figuring out how to like match the mouth movements. I
Oh,
think for dub
interesting.
when they also sing. It's kind of interesting.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
Yeah, there's compilations out there of dub voice actors singing. Like people will gather clips and be like, "This is what so and so sounds like when they're singing." Like
Wow.
Hinata, his dub voice actor, oh, Bryson, I'm gonna butcher it, so I'm not gonna try. But he has a YouTube channel and he posts covers, like he sings, so it's Hinata
Oh,
singing.
Wait, didn't we watch a video where it was like a bunch of the different Haikyuu voice actors
Yeah.
singing?
Yeah,
What I
yeah.
can't remember if it was the
Oh,
sub or the
God.
dub,
It was dub.
but okay.
Yeah.
They were singing like, were they singing a Christmas song maybe? I can't
Oh
remember.
no, wait. That one
Sounds
was sub.
familiar.
The Christmas one is sub. It's so
Okay,
cute.
okay.
Suga has the voice of a little baby angel.
I believe it. His dub one,
So real.
it's the dub guy.
Oh, the
Okay.
sub guy has a very light
Oh, the
singing
sub?
voice. I can't remember if the dub if he has sung. I bet he does. He's been over
They all do.
he's been around the block. He can probably do all the acting and singing.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen this song on TikTok too. That's like Dazai and Chuya's voice actors like sing a song together. They both sing, and they're like, "Oh, it's Dazai." And Chuya."
I love it. I don't full disclosure, I don't ship them together, but like I best friend ship them.
They're soulmates in
Shit.
some way. That's what I say.
Platonic soulmates. Yeah. I feel like dating would just be not good
A
for
little
them.
Good for
toxic,
them.
probably.
They'd kill each other.
That's fair.
Um, okay. I know that Marley doesn't have a huge frame of reference for all of the characters, but if you had to choose a favorite character from Bungo Stray Dogs, who would it be and why?
I was trying to like look through characters beforehand and like remember their characteristics. Like, I think I like Dazai because Hannah likes Dazai.
Yeah.
But from what I remember, I did also like his character, and I do remember liking Yoka when she came on. And then I do also really like Sushi. Like, I think I don't
Yeah.
always like the main character, but I do like him.
He's cute.
He's so precious.
So precious. He's so nice. Just
I
always so
really
nice.
love learning about his backstory 20 times. That's like my favorite part.
It's like a running joke.
Yeah.
of
Better
it.
and better.
That's a good point. Like season one, yeah, I think it does get better after that.
Yeah, it does. But
I gotta get back into it.
What did you say, Marley? Dazai and Atsushi and Hyuka?
And Kyoka,
It's
yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love her too. Mine like boils down to like it's like always been Dazai, but then like I met Chuya, I met him, and then I like read Stormbringer, and I'm like, oh, precious. So I don't know. I think like just Sukoku. Is that how you say it?
I don't know. I don't know why that's their
Sukoku.
double name.
Yeah, double black is like how it translates.
Ah, gotcha. So Koku. I don't know how to say it. I just see it on Pinterest and I'm like, oh, that must be their their team name.
I was looking through my Pinterest board, my Bungo Stray Dogs Pinterest board, and it's just like mostly them. It's like Double Black was like their team name when they were in the Mafia, and that's
Ah,
like the translation of it, I think.
gotcha.
But
Okay, that
yeah,
makes more sense.
I know I was confused about it too, but I don't know if I can actually choose. They just go together.
Right, Meg.
yeah. My favorite character is actually Octagawa. I
Oh.
he just, I don't know. To me, he's just a little bean. And I love how he's like worships Dazai and just wants his approval. And then like when he and Atsushi like combine their powers, just like so cool.
She heard him say Rashomon once and went, yes!
Yeah.
Oh, Marley, yes, you need to keep watching because Octagawa gets so much more like in depth, and then like him and
I've
Atsushi.
heard. I've
Yeah.
heard.
The small, sick Victorian child.
Mhm.
I definitely thought he was a woman when I started it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
thought he
guess.
looked like a girl,
Oh,
but he
well,
just has
his
great fashion and great hair.
sister looked like a
Wears his
boy
little
for a
heel
while,
boots.
so
Yeah, right?
I love his sister. She's so cool. I knew she was a girl as
Queen.
soon as I saw the character design. I'm like, that's a girl. The reveal was still awesome.
I love her so much.
Hmm.
She's the
Yeah.
coolest.
My favorite character is Rampo because he's the only normal one. But I also just
Normal.
like normal,
Yeah.
like no powers, but not
I
really
know.
normal. But I saw him in his character design, and I was like, oh, he's got a newsboy cap. That's cool. I like his style. And then he was like maybe a little bit immature and like I don't know, like his personality might be a little off-putting at first, but I think the first mission we see him on, he's like really good at what he does, if not a bit of a braggart, and like when it's done, Atsushi's like, "Wow, he's amazing. I can see why you want him on your team. His power is so cool." And Daza's like, "Oh no, that's just him.
Well, I mean, I
Doesn't
love
doesn't
that
have anything."
reveal.
Yeah,
With
Yeah.
like his little glasses, he's like
those little
power
glasses.
activated, and
Ultra
So
deduction.
cute.
Actually,
So
So
wait.
cute.
does he know that he doesn't have powers,
He will
or does
figure it out.
oh he thinks
Exactly.
he does though?
He thinks he does for a long time. Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
then
it
like
is so
the
So
cool that
funny.
he holds his own and is
yeah,
so useful even without powers. He's
and
just
he's
really
like
smart.
physically not. He's like shorter and scrawnier, so he's not like physically able to do what the other. He's like acrobatic enough, but I don't know.
Very smart.
There were the episodes, and I read the light novel. I actually have it, the light novel they're based on, but it's like him when he was a kid and how he came to the detective agency and just like yeah, the book made me very, very sad, but also very happy
Oh,
because like the introduction to it says something like this is a story about like a detective agency, like the origin story, but it's also a story about fatherhood because
oh.
Fukazawa adopts him and gives him a purpose in life and kind of directs him in the right way.
Wow, I need to read that. Sounds
Yeah,
so
so
good.
cute.
Yeah, I love that they adapt the light novels into like they make it part of the story.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'd have to wait for a lot longer because the manga is a monthly publication, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
All right. There was also a movie for Bungo Stray Dogs, Dead Apple. You saw that obviously. I see you nodding your head. But did
Oh yeah.
you
Couple
think that was
times.
pretty good?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's super weird, but like so is the anime, like so is the show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like an interesting plot, but I mostly love the character interactions and like anytime the Port Mafia and detective agency have to pair up, it's just like super fun.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there are some good like Yoka Atsushi moments and Chuya Dazai obviously. But yeah, I love it. It's its own thing kind of, but it's good.
Yeah, but that's when Fyodor is introduced, right? Yeah.
Mm,
So
I think
yeah.
he's part of
Yeah.
that weird
a
group they
little
had
bit.
going on.
Yeah. I
He's
was
he's a
never clear on why he was like if he was really interested in that movie because then like he comes later in the show and it's like nothing happened. Like very weird.
such
Hmm.
a little scuzz.
No, literally. Yeah, what did you guys think of that apple?
I think it got me more invested in what was going to
Mm.
happen. I also like
Hmm.
how it's the first time we really see like Dazai and Chuya may not be on the same side anymore, but they still trust each other, like without saying anything. Like
Hmm.
Chuya knew Dazai was going to be there to help him break out of his when his power was going wild, and Dazai knew Chuya would come to help him, so he wasn't afraid. So
Yeah,
it was very sweet.
very
Hmm.
sweet. Yeah.
I
Yes, I would
didn't watch
agree.
the movie, but that sounds familiar. And did you send me clips of that scene, Hannah? Does that sound familiar?
Probably.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. Because I was like, I don't think I've seen this, but I was like,
I probably did. I'm like, look at them. There's clearly something going on.
yeah.
Do you guys have a favorite scene or moment from the show or the manga?
Marley, did you have a favorite part from as much as you watched? I'm trying to think.
Hmm.
I'm sure I do.
I like don't think I remember anything specific enough. It's all kind of like blended together.
I wanted to rewatch some of the newest season before this, but I couldn't find it anywhere and I don't have Crunchyroll Premium.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw on your B Reels like watching Bungo Stray Dogs, and I was like,
Yeah, then I
"Oh, good
was
job,
not.
Hannah." And she's like, "I actually didn't. I couldn't get
Actually,
there."
I actually couldn't.
That's okay.
What about you guys? I'll keep thinking.
Okay. Well, I do have favorite scene, but I don't know if I want to spoil it. But I won't. I'll just say it's like the scene
No,
between
spoil it for me. I want
Otasaku
to
and
be like, I want motivation to watch. You know?
Yeah.
yeah, I won't. I'll just say the scene between Otasaku and Dazai when they're
The
being very
last scene.
yep, yeah, when they're being very real with each other.
It was very sacred.
Yeah, it's so precious. And I don't know, we actually like just talked about it on our last episode where we were supposed to be talking about Dr. Stone, but
We'll relate
I
it
love
back
it.
somehow. I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. It was just like I think that was a moment where it just became very real and it was a very touching, sweet moment, but also it's important for Dazai's character because you're kind of like, okay, how did he get from being an executive in the Port Mafia to ditching that entirely and going to the armed detective agency? So it's very important for him. Favorite scene for me.
Mhm.
Uh, well, in the most recent season, I like when Rompo goes off the grid for a little bit, and then when he comes back, which is really cool reveal. He has like this moment in front of like the police force, and he's talking about like, yeah, like you can see the facts in front of you, but something's not adding up. To be a good detective, you have to think with your head, but you also have to think with your heart. Something to that effect. It was super cool.
That's very cute.
Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, OJ. Not like an emotional scene at all, but I did love when Chuya showed up in the helicopter in the last most recent season.
You
yes.
messed up, detective agency.
So good.
Oh, he
fun.
said more than that, but
Yeah,
yes.
well,
Oh
I
yeah.
can't.
Keep
This
it
podcast.
PG.
No.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that was the first anime I'd ever watched that used the F-bomb.
Oh,
Really?
interesting. I mean, I think I same.
Yeah. We have since watched Tokyo Revengers, so I cannot say that anymore, but but
Haikyuu
it
would
was
never.
very oh they
No.
Mm-mm.
but that was kind of funny because he said that and we paused and then we're like, Chuya. But that's
so
on
funny.
it makes sense for Chuya. But there was also like Daz, I got one in too, but to be fair, if I got shot, I wouldn't be saying gosh diddly darn it. So
You might be, you don't know.
uh
That's so funny.
Can I say one more scene? I hate the scene because it's awful, but I love it at the same time, and I don't want to tell Marley. But
Please
it's from
tell
the most
me.
recent season with Atsushi and Akutagawa, and they,
oh
yeah, that
oh
one. It's horrible, but I like love that they're like friends.
concerned for each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Meg's face was hilarious during that scene.
Oh.
Okay, I remember what happens to Octagawa, but I barely remember. Oh wait, yep, now it's coming back. Yep.
Your face was
That
like
was
some kind of surprised, horrified, I don't know. And I
I know.
it was a serious situation, but I busted out laughing. Sorry.
laughing at my pain.
Yep, sorry. Well, you're the one who always like my characters. This is how it goes. I like the cinnamon roll characters, and those are usually the first to die horribly. So, in
Oh,
many shows, my favorite character will be the one to die, and Meg has watched me go through that so many times. So
Oh.
so like if a character she likes gets hurt in any way or goes through some emotional trauma or has something happen to them, it's just like payback.
You're like, yeah, it's your
Wow.
turn.
Taking pleasure in my pain.
I'm sorry. I mean, like, one of my guys was bleeding out on the ground, and you're like, aren't they gonna help him? And I'm just like suffering in the corner.
Yeah.
Okay, next question is if you can add an author to Bungo Stray Dogs, who would it be, and how would you like make their powers? Like, what book would be the power title? What would the power do?
So fun. I love
That's a
that.
great question.
I mean, I've been reading a lot of Agatha Christie lately, so I feel like that would work out pretty well. I mean, she would have this like the same abilities as what's his name? The smart one.
Oh, Rumpo,
Oh, Rampo.
because
Yeah,
he's a
right. Yeah,
detective author
yeah. I
too.
feel like that would be like the same ability, but maybe you need two of them, and maybe they'll fall in love. So
That would actually be kind of cute.
Oh, I thought Agatha Christie was in Bungo.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah, she
She
briefly was, I think.
very briefly, but like we'll see her in the future, I'm sure. But they
Good
teased it.
job. You picked a good one.
Mhm. But I'm so curious, yeah, like what her powers would be, how it'll work, and what book it's named after too.
They haven't had Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, have they? Because that
They
Sherlock
haven't?
Holmes power would be that would be pretty cool to pair him with Rompo. Like or pit him
yeah.
against Rompo.
You're so right.
Ooh.
Yeah, they haven't done any British authors yet. Like they teased Agatha Christie because they were talking about like London.
Yeah, and they teased in Stormbringer, they teased Mary Shelley, right? Is she American? She's American, isn't she?
Yes.
Or is she British?
No, I think she's British.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Then that
But
makes sense.
yeah, her power would be very cool.
It is.
Oh, okay, so you already know what her power is.
She's at the very
Yeah.
end of the book, but well, maybe it wasn't her power per se, but she made Frankenstein already, so
Oh, cool.
we
Um,
were excited for not horror authors, monster authors to be introduced because like the whole vampire thing, we heard people talking about the fact there'd be vampires and we're like, oh no, we don't want vampires in the story. And then we're like, hold up, that means Dracula's author is coming.
yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. Like this, I love the concept of the show. It's so cool. Sometimes the characters are just so weird though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I know.
very creative concept. Props to the author for coming up with it. And he was probably like, oh, that we already got all this source material. I just have to like pick an author and pick a title of their book and then come up with the power.
And then he got a great illustrator to work with him. Well, obviously you can tell that the boys are drawn by a woman, I think. But
Yeah.
to me at least, it seems like a woman drew these boys.
They're very
That's funny.
beautiful.
They're very
Very
pretty.
beautiful.
I'm gonna go with another of my favorite female British authors, and I'm gonna say Jane Austen.
Meg was thinking of her
Maybe not.
too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like trying to think. I'm sure there's like, if I thought about it, I could come up with someone more interesting, but it could be cool how they'd spin it. Maybe she'd have some kind of romance like power.
Mm-hmm.
You fall in love,
Oh,
and you
totally.
fall
Yeah,
in
like
love.
should be like kind of like a Cupid kind of
Yeah,
thing.
a little matchmaker.
Like Emma, right? Isn't that one of her books, Emma?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
they'd call it like Pride and Prejudice, maybe.
That'd be
Like
so
that's probably her
good.
most well known. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that was an idea I had. I think another idea that I had, which this author is still alive, but um it's Marissa Meyer. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she writes like sci-fi fairy tales.
Oh.
Yes. And
Cool.
Ooh, it's good.
yes, it's
Very good.
one of our favorite series.
I think I've heard of Stars Above.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's
Intrigued.
very good. And she probably, I don't know what kind of power she would have.
Actually,
I mean, it's sci-fi.
yeah, I think
Mm.
I met her at a book signing one time. She is a huge fan of Sailor Moon. So like her books are called the Lunar Chronicles. So if you had that be the title and then you had like the girl in a Sailor Moon-esque outfit and then maybe her power would be something like glamour like in the book. Some people can change their appearance, like they can use not
Glamour,
shape-shifting per se, but like
Yeah.
trick people.
Yeah. That's in a lot
That
of
would be so
fairy
cool.
books. I like when there's like consistency. I'm like, I already know this word glamour. It's been in other books.
I also thought I was just trying to think of like some of my favorite authors, and I was like, what about like J.R.R. Tolkien? And it was some kind
Oh,
of like elven power or like
oh
I'm trying to think what
yeah. Like
else.
really good
Something along
swordsmanship. Or wizardry. Like
yeah.
J.K. Rowling in there.
uh-huh.
Ooh,
Think
True.
that'd be so
It's
the
fun.
endless.
Yeah, I think I'll have to pick another author who's still alive, but Rick Riordan, he wrote the Percy Jackson series. You
Nice,
could
nice.
Ooh.
Ooh,
you could
that'd be
have his
good.
power be like, what do you say, Meg, the lightning thief or something like that?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
he
Yeah.
Or like
can wield
godlike
powers
abilities.
of yes, of the Greek gods like Poseidon powers or
Cool.
So cool.
endless
Mm.
possibilities for that one. Um,
Mm.
yeah,
I just
okay.
started reading that, the Percy Jackson series. I've never read it before.
Yes. Oh, so good.
Mhm.
The first one was really good. Didn't see the ending coming. I was like, no.
Yeah.
I guess two brief things to touch upon before we get to our next section, but first one, have you guys heard of Bungo Stray Dogs Juan? I think it's called Juan.
Yeah.
Like
I've
babies.
watched the anime.
Okay, I watched it too.
Is
It's
that the
so
baby
cute.
one?
Yeah, little chibis.
So funny that there's just an offshoot that's like, now they're babies.
It's so random. I'm like, actually, I was like waiting for season 4 to come out, but thanks.
I mean, I think
Not
it's well
complaining.
animated. It's what Attack on Titan did something similar. They had a Attack on
Oh,
Titan Junior High, and I was at first I was like, no way I'm
Were they
watching this, but
fighting Titans?
ah, yeah, a little bit, but it was more like they changed it so the Titans weren't as harmful. They were just like bullies instead of man-eating Titans.
Hey,
Yeah, but
relatable.
it was something I didn't plan on watching, but then the last season really wrecked me, so I needed something to like palate cleanse.
yeah.
It's Bungo Stray Dogs was kind of the same way where it's like, oh, we're waiting for the next season and man, a lot's going down. I'm not sure I can handle more. Let's have them doing cute little things like going grocery shopping together. Yay!
Love that.
And it's interesting because it's like each episode is kind of something different. Like one, they actually are little babies in daycare,
That
which
was
is
so
so
cute.
random, but so cute. And one, they're like in high school and like Chia and Daz are like trying to impress each other to be like the coolest kid in class. It's just so
So
funny.
great.
Yeah. I
My
think
favorite one is when Dazai pretends to be the dog, and Chuya's
oh
like
look.
Chuya watches the movie about the dog.
I've seen clips of that.
It's so cute.
Chuya's like, if I
I
saw a lost puppy on the side of the road, I would take him home and love him.
woof. Yeah, and then she was like, no, no. But
Actually, so
I
creepy.
it is. I think Meg, I know you're probably not gonna watch it because it's not canon or anything, but I think you would appreciate how adorable Octagawa is in it because he's just like wide-eyed, innocent. Dazai, come see what I'm doing. Dazai, don't you want to see what I did?
Oh, that's so
So
cute.
It's
cute.
so cute. I
hmm
love them all so much. Really quick,
Yeah.
my other favorite scene is Chia and Atsushi in the elevator. It's just like interactions that like they wouldn't have in the normal show necessarily, or like
hmm
they just haven't. Just like pairing different characters together. So cute.
Yeah.
I like how you took forever to come up with your favorite scene from the actual show, but now that we're on babies, you're like, I have so many favorite scenes to share.
Yeah, you're right. Why is that? Maybe because it's not like really sad and heart-wrenching all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, more lighthearted, yeah.
There was one sad moment, but it wasn't like completely sad. It was more of like, oh, they were watching fireworks together, and Dazai said something
Don't
like,
talk to me about that scene.
oh no. But poor Atsushi's just like, you okay, man?
Hmm.
But obviously Dazai's got some stuff to work through, and I don't blame him. But um oh, and the last thing to briefly discuss was Stormbringer. A spoiler-free discussion, of course, but it's
Someone give me what is Storebringer? Someone give me a brief description.
yeah, okay, so it's like Chia's backstory,
Okay.
but you end up reading it and having more questions than you did before you read it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like chronologically speaking, Chia's been in the Port Mafia for a full year. So it's after the stuff with the gang he was with, the Black Sheep or whatever they were called.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's after he broke ties with them and he's been in the Port Mafia for a year. He and Dazai still have that little tsundere, like I can't stand you, but I need you to work with you kind of partnership going on. But she has also got a squad of people he works with too, and sorry, I shouldn't talk too much about those guys, but the then one day his life is kind of turned upside down when this guy claiming to be his big brother comes to town and he's like, I've got all the answers about your past and where you came from and how your special ability was manufactured because he wasn't born with a special ability.
Ooh, fun. Is
Yeah.
that canon?
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, because the author and artist responsible for the
Okay.
manga did that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really hoping they make it into like a separate movie or like at least do like 3 episodes at the beginning of a season. Would be
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, I read the afterword in the book, and the author's like, okay, this was supposed to be a short little novel like the other ones, but no, I couldn't do that.
Not
And
when it's Chuya.
no, and it's Shuya. And he also said something like, I would love to explore Chuya's emotions after Dazai ditched the Port Mafia. Like what was he feeling when he didn't have his right hand man there with him?
Yeah.
I feel like they do a good job of showing that in the anime. Like I think he's kind of angry.
I think
Punches the wall.
sometimes they're angry.
A little
Yeah.
bit angry.
I heard something so hilarious about the real life Chuya and Dazai. So the real life Chuya, they make fun of Chuya in the show for being 5'2", which is my height, and but in real
That's
life,
small.
yeah, in real life Chuya was 4'11",
No.
and apparently he and Dazai knew each other in real life. And it was like a story I found on Pinterest, but there was one night that Chiya got so drunk that he stumbled his way to Dazai's house and was hurling insults at him. And Dazai was either with, what was his girlfriend or wife or significant other, and he was he was insulting Dazai so much that he cried.
That's
It was like, oh,
insane.
that's on brand
Okay,
for
so
them.
yeah, it sounds about right.
Okay, next section we're gonna do is we were gonna try to take a Bungo Stray Dogs character quiz. We have the link in the email we sent you,
Oh,
but
sorry, Hannah, I just sent it to you.
it's on quizexpo.com. Meg and I had taken a quiz on Crunchyroll. We both got Fukuzawa, which I mean I kind of agree with, but I think
Interesting.
also yeah, I think that quiz might have been made before we knew a lot of new characters. So this one is a 2024 updated one. So hopefully this from this other website will be more accurate.
Mhm.
Ooh.
And when we do
Yeah.
these character quizzes, I will read out uh the questions and what the options are for our answers, and we will all say which answers we're picking so the listeners can kind of follow along with us.
Yes. And usually we like to say who we think we're gonna get before we start.
Who do you guys all think you'll be?
depending on who's all in the cache of characters.
True.
Yeah. Since Rampo's my favorite, I'm hoping I'm gonna get him, but I've got a suspicion that I might get Atsushi.
Yeah. I could see that. Um, Usually I end up getting like the smart characters. So,
So
Ooh.
You might get Dazai or Rampo.
yeah, I could
Yeah.
see that.
I will say I know who I got and I know who they are, so that narrows it down.
Okay.
That's good.
And I was pleased with the answer.
I was trying to think. Maybe like Yasano or somebody.
Oh yeah. She's cool.
Or Higuchi. I'm just like, we're the coolest, like, female characters.
Actually, I wouldn't mind being Octagawa's sister.
Yeah, Gin.
She
So
might not be on
cool.
the list, but Gin is I don't know. She can rock a dress, but she can also kick your butt.
I just think a lot of the male characters are so just like punchy and like yelling, and
And
I
she
guess
does
some of the
everything
women do
quiet.
too, but yeah, I'm like that's a little bit more me.
Mm. Okay, are you guys ready?
Mhm.
All right.
Yes.
Question number 1. What makes the Bungo Stray Dog characters so fascinating? Their personality, their relationships, their intelligence, their backstory, their skills, or they are not fascinating?
I'm gonna say their relationships. Clearly,
Mm,
that is what draws me to them in a lot of ways.
I'm gonna say their backstory because those episodes were some of my favorites.
And I'm gonna say their personalities.
Mhm. I think backstory same for me, even though I don't know that much, but anytime I hear about it, I'm like, well, that's so interesting.
I
I
thought
should
you were
watch
gonna
the
say they
show.
are not fascinating. Ryan's like, actually, I'm not into this show.
Okay, question number 2. What would be the most challenging thing about being an armed detective agency member? Fighting the bad guys, working with super talented detectives, solving strange mysteries, keeping your identity a secret, becoming an efficient ability user, or being a detective is stupid, not challenging.
This is the worst part about it.
The most
The
Most
challenging.
yeah,
challenging.
yeah. I think fighting the bad guys because some of those like those guys are terrifying.
I'm
Mm.
saying the
Everything the
same. I'm
same
like solving the
repeatedly.
mysteries. That part seems like I could probably do it, but
Yeah, and
fighting.
I don't think they try to keep their identities a secret.
Nah.
I don't know.
Maybe because maybe it's so challenging, they just can't.
Yeah, I think I'm also gonna say fighting the bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to go up against Octagawa.
Never.
Okay. Question number 3. Which one describes your personality? Protective, shy, cool, quiet, loud, or serious?
I will
Mm.
say that I never like this kind of question because I wish that I could say shy, but I don't think that is an accurate representation. Like I just like to stay home, which isn't exactly shy.
Mm.
I feel like loud would also probably be what a lot of people would say, but like I don't think that I'm loud. Maybe I'm just really cool. Don't know who would say that about me, but
I think you're
Uh,
cool, so.
I think we're all pretty
yeah.
we
cool.
can put that down then.
I kind of think I am gonna say cool just because I also don't think any of the others like quite describe. But cool, I'm pretty like laid back.
Yeah, cool,
Yeah.
chill.
I might have to go with quiet just because I mean, it depends on the situation, of course, but
Exactly.
Mm.
yeah, but sometimes when I'm overwhelmed by a crowd of people, I'm the one who's not saying anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is hard, but I might go with shy because I do tend to hide behind people when I
Like literally.
sometimes yes.
Okay, question 4. What do you think is the best way of fighting the mafia? better rules, more detectives, better technologies, harsher punishments. I don't know. Or you can't fight the mafia.
Ugh, I was hoping one of the answers would be like, just join them.
Yeah,
Just fight
me,
with them.
I was thinking that too.
Hilarious.
I feel like none of these are great answers.
I feel like better rules just wouldn't work because rules don't apply to the mafia.
No,
True.
it's a mafia.
Maybe.
More detectives is probably what I would say.
Okay. I don't
I'm
want to
just
say
gonna go
harsher
with you can't fight
punishments.
the mafia.
Good choice, good choice. I kind of wanted to go with harsher punishments, but at the same time, those guys can handle torture, so I don't think that would do much. So maybe better technologies to like contain them better.
The way you said harsher punishments was funny. No, you're like, harsher punishments? You're shocked by that question. That answer.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with better technologies as well.
Nice. We
Interesting.
might get the same person.
Yeah.
What if we all four of us do this?
Then this quiz is garbage. Question number 5. Why do you think Bungo Stray Dogs is such a successful franchise? It has relatable characters, it has a great story, it has clever plot twists, it surprises you no matter what, it has excellent action scenes, or I've seen better anime shows.
I haven't said that one.
Yeah, that is how I feel, but this is a great show.
I don't want to be snooty about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think it's great, but it's not the best I've ever seen.
Relatable characters, maybe? I mean, I haven't gone through their exact experiences, obviously, but
Hopefully not.
Good.
hopefully not. But the human moments that they have, I think, are very important for why people would get invested in the show.
Mhm. I think I like the plot twists.
Mm,
That's my favorite part.
mm.
I'm also gonna say, wait, I was gonna say clever plot twist, but I actually think I'm gonna say it has a great story. That kind of
Okay.
encompasses a lot of things. And then it's a
Mhm.
different answer too.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 6. What should be the priority of a detective? Fighting criminals, reducing the crime rates, solving mysteries, becoming a criminal's nightmare, surviving, or I don't know, I don't like detectives. Well,
I'm
my
curious. Oh, you go.
oh, sorry, I was just gonna say my knee-jerk reaction is like solving mysteries, duh, that's what a detective does. So that's what I'm gonna choose.
No. I just wonder what character you would get if you answered all those like last options. Like, is there someone on the show who just like absolutely doesn't care about anything?
Yeah, or is it gonna be like, you're none of them. Why are you even taking this quiz? You don't seem to like the show.
It could be, I don't know, you could get Octagawa because he's just like, I don't care.
Mhm.
That's funny.
Mm.
I think I'm gonna say surviving, just because for this show, I just want them to survive. Like normally
Yeah.
I would say detectives should solve mysteries, but because of the universe they're in, they just gotta survive sometimes.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say becoming a criminal's nightmare. I
Awesome.
think that would help reduce crime rates, and if you're becoming criminal's nightmare, it might be because you're solving mysteries. Like it just encompasses everything.
That's a
Smart.
good point. I think I went with lowering crime rate.
Mm. Okay, question 7. What do you think about the brutality of the mafia? It's horrible, it's unacceptable, brutality is in their blood, it's a sign that negotiations are never an option, it's part of their business, no big deal, or it indicates how powerful the mafia is.
Horrible.
I'm gonna say it's unacceptable.
I don't know. Part of me wants to say it's a part of their business, no big deal. Because
Whoa.
You're gonna get a mafia member.
it's not like they're we were just talking about this, but like they're only usually hurting other bad guys or like people involved in the mafia. They're not like hurting innocent civilians. Like they don't like when they the port mafia doesn't like when other people mess with their city.
Yeah,
They're
they
kind of
will.
like protectors in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see that more as the show goes on too, Marley. I see your shocked face.
Yeah, I'm very shocked at this
They
response.
really care about Yokohama. Like that is their number one. They're trying to protect it in their own way. I'm gonna say it indicates how powerful the mafia is. I
Okay.
don't like it
You
either, but I'm
too.
like,
Mm. All right, question 8. Which one describes your relationship with friends? We're super close. I have only a few close friends. We have a professional-ish relationship. We are not close because I respect my privacy. We're a bunch of crazy people hanging out. Or I don't have any friends and don't need any.
I am pretty famous for saying that last one. Like when we moved here, I was like, it's okay, everyone. I don't need any friends. Please don't
true.
be my friend. But I would say I said the few friends, few close friends or whatever.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think I'm gonna say that one too. I have my
That's
core group.
same.
I'm gonna say we are super close.
All right.
Hmm.
Okay. Question 9. What do you have to say about your confidence? My confidence is not that high. I'm not confident at all. I'm super confident. I'm as confident as my achievements allow. I don't need confidence, or I feel like a god walking on earth.
Okay, Chuya.
Yeah. Uh, I'm as confident as my achievements allow.
That's what I
That's
did as well.
that's what
It's
I was
like the
gonna say
only
too.
like realistic one,
Yeah.
Mhm.
like middle ground.
Unless
Mm,
you're like really unconfident, I guess.
yeah. Okay, question 10. What kind of ability would you like to have if you lived in the Bungo universe? Something practical, a unique ability, a mind-related skill, something mysterious. I'd like to have martial arts skills, or I'd want to have a lethal ability.
I'd
I
like something
would
mysterious.
mm,
Hmm.
I want a mind related skill.
Checks out.
Um, probably, yeah, I'd probably like to have a unique one to see what I could do with it.
I think I'm gonna say a unique ability as well.
Cool.
I want to stand out.
All right, what is the coolest thing about being an ability user? You could help others, you could fight crime, you could make the world a better place, you could save innocent lives, you could kick your enemy's butt, or you could become an emperor.
I'm
Mm,
gonna say you could save innocent lives.
Hmm.
same.
I would say make the world a better place.
I really want to say you could kick your enemy's butt.
You gotta follow your instincts here.
Yeah, I feel
We won't
like
judge you.
I feel like one of my answers could be like the you could make the world a better place one, but I'm gonna say kick your enemy's butt because I'm the person who has fantasies about like doing something cool if I had any kind of power at all.
Love it.
Um, number 12. What is the best strategy to solve a mystery? Talking to witnesses, gathering clues, recreating the crime scene, being patient and waiting for the criminal's mistake, the good cop, bad cop technique, or I don't like solving mysteries. Hmm. Gathering
Fine.
clues for me.
Yeah, definitely gathering clues.
Gathering clues.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was thinking of like I like reading mysteries, and I like
Uh-huh.
to gather the clues, but I don't want to interview anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Question 13. Imagine you're a mafia member. What kind of role would you like to have? Cook, a soldier, scout, a leader, assassin, or the Godfather?
I did cook because I didn't want to be a member. I was like, if I'm there, it's only because I happen to be their personal chef. I
Mm,
don't know anything.
I want to be a scout, so I'm not like in the action, but I'm like checking things out.
I was thinking that too, like a scout, but I also think assassin just like seems cool. as long as it was like not the detective agency or innocent bystanders.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too, because like, ooh,
Really?
that'd be cool.
I'd pull the trigger and then yell sorry immediately.
In reality, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, uh-oh. Question 14. Describe your best friend in one word.
Oh, this is awkward.
Cute, kind, smart, reliable, funny. I have no friends.
I did be funny.
Aw.
I'm gonna say kind.
All right, Meg, you're smart.
Okay,
This is very clear. I'm actually talking about you.
I was gonna say kind.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's cute.
All right, 15. How would you deal with your enemies? Negotiate with them, imprison them, exile them, scare them away, kick their butts, or kill them.
I
Mm,
almost said negotiate, but I'm gonna say exile. I'm like, I
Mm.
just don't want you around.
I'm gonna kick their butts.
Ah. I think
Respect
depending
that.
on depending on like why they're my enemy or what they've done, I try to imprison them because then any of the other options are available to you as long as they're locked up.
Smart.
Smart.
In prison.
All right, 16. What would you do to an enemy who has surrendered? Forgive them, imprison them, interrogate them, use them as a spy, kick their butt, or get rid of them ASAP. Ah, I like the idea of using them as a spy, but could you trust them?
That's what I was thinking. That seems a little risky.
Mm-hmm. I think I might actually say use them as a spy because I'd be curious if I could trust that they wouldn't like turn on me. It could be a way to kind of reform them, and I really like that trope when a villain becomes a hero.
Do you like that trope?
I'm gonna interrogate them,
Mm.
use them for their knowledge.
All about that knowledge.
Yeah. All right, next question, question 17. What's the best punishment for mafia members? Why do they want us to punish these guys so bad? Okay.
I know.
Sending them back to school, sending them to an isolated prison, using them as your spies, exposing their identity on TV, humiliating them, or threatening their families.
Not the last one. Boo.
No,
Mm-mm.
that's horrible. Huh. I mean, not all of them can be used as spies, so I'm not gonna say that answer again. Uh, let's send them back to school.
Get an education.
Get an education and go through the punishment that is public high school.
Also use them as your spies. Because I feel like before it was like enemies, like any enemy, but now I'm like, oh, the mafia, like I like some of them and they're really smart. So
I'm gonna go with that because we already know like sending them to an isolated prison like doesn't work all that well. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
say
didn't know that.
I doubt that any of them would or could betray the mafia by being spies, but then again, we have an example of that with a certain character in the most recent season, so.
yeah, we do.
Okay, question 18. If you were an armed detective agency member, what would your biggest fear be? Losing friends, screwing up a mission, making an unforgivably wrong decision, putting my family at risk, being captured or kidnapped by the mafia, or I hate being a detective.
Doesn't make any sense even.
Oh no.
You're not
Oh
actually a
man.
detective, okay?
Probably, oh, making an unforgivably wrong decision because that could lead to losing friends or screwing up a mission or putting my family at risk.
True. That's a good point. I'd put my family at risk.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say losing friends.
I'm also gonna say putting my family at risk.
Okay.
Is there much information about families? Like, isn't everyone in the detective agency pretty much like solo?
Well, Atsushi's an orphan. Rampo is an orphan, but Fukuzawa adopted him, basically. Um,
Kyoko's an orphan.
Kyoko's an orphan.
We got
Yoshino,
the brother and sister. Who on brother and sister?
I highly doubt they look nothing alike. And
They're not.
and like Tanizaki can use his illusion ability, so maybe she's an illusion because like Naomi is a character from that author's book.
Interesting.
So cool.
Anyway, question 19. What would it be if you had to change one thing about Bungo Stray Dogs, about the anime? The plot, the characters, the mysteries, the voice actors, the fight scenes, or the whole show? Oh,
I would say the characters because I would want to get rid of 2 characters.
Same. I think I'm thinking well, I have no idea if I'm thinking
I would want to get rid
characters?
of Naomi for sure.
Yeah.
And then
Because I was like, Hannah, why did you recommend this show? It's so weird. So I feel like if they were not in it, I would have like kept going.
thing is the brother is actually great when he's on his own.
Oh.
Great, and she's
Yeah.
honestly not in it that much after
No,
the first.
after the first season it's fine, but I would get rid of her. And then also like the creepy kid.
no, the guy with the doll.
You.
Yeah.
Oh.
You,
Why do I feel like
right?
I know this guy?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't-
that
I've seen so many clips that I've seen him. Okay.
yeah, but I
with
wouldn't
you on
change
that one.
anybody else.
Right.
And
I
I'd
don't
change
want all the
Mori. I
characters
don't
to
like
change.
Mori.
That's true.
Mm.
He's really creepy, actually.
No.
Just get rid of all the
Uh,
creepy characters.
I think I might change the plot slightly because I like when they're on their missions and I like when they have like their battles with the Port Mafia and all that stuff, but there were some things where I was like, why can't we go back and focus on that? Like Rompo and Chuya get sucked into the one of Poe's mysteries or one of his
Yeah,
books.
I was
And I'm
so
like, what?
sad.
We didn't
They
get to
didn't
see
show
that.
it to us.
I need that in my life.
Except all you find out is that like Grandpa gets out and then Chuya's in there just like
Beating up
yelling
people.
at everybody and like
Rompo got out
he
in
can't
15
solve the
minutes.
mystery, so he just resorted to violence. I'm gonna say the fight scenes. They could be less gross of Atsushi like getting his limbs chopped off all the time.
That poor kid has lost his leg
Not
like
my
50
favorite.
times.
Yeah, that's not my favorite part of the show.
That's
No.
so funny. Specifically less limb chopping. Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay, final question. How old are you? 16 or younger, 17 to 20, 21 to 25, 26 to 29, 30 or older, or I'd rather not say.
I did answer this one, but you can, yeah.
30 or older, that's me.
30 or older.
Which is none of the characters on the show. Please don't base my answer on that.
Right? I hope they
You're
don't.
nobody. Everyone's younger.
Meg and I are the 21 to 25 age range.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay, I bet we got the same person if you're really excited.
Did you get Rompo?
Yes, I did.
I'm so happy.
You
The
both
last
got
couple.
Rompo?
Yeah, the last
Yep.
couple character quizzes we did, I did not really agree with who I got at all, so this is really giving me
Okay,
steam.
you maybe didn't agree, but I kind of agreed.
Oh, I know I'm like them. I just didn't want to admit it. They're not bad characters in the least. It's just that, like, they weren't my favorite within the show. But he is my favorite character, so I'm super excited. So
Cute.
our description for Rompo, we matched one of the loveliest Bungo Stray Dog characters. Despite being a teaser and acting childish around his friends, Rompo is intelligent. He helps the detectives solve the most mysterious crimes and never lets them down. Just like Rompo, you two have a protective side to you that you try to hide. You need to make sure your loved ones are doing okay, but you don't want them to notice. Here's how the official Bungo Stray Dog fandom describes Rompo, and we think you might relate to it. Rompo takes extreme pride in his ability, which can solve any mystery in mere seconds, with which he has solved countless cases. With his incredible intelligence, he is commended for it by the rest of the Armed Detective Agency, even more so because he lacks ability. By the way, you definitely would be an ability user with skills to read minds or predict others' movements.
Way to go.
Mm.
Yeah. And do you want to read yours out?
Yeah, I got Atsushi,
Aw.
Ooh.
little baby.
That's hilarious that we got the same person and you guys got the same person.
Wait, we
That's
did?
so
Yeah, and
cool.
good thing because I don't have his description, so
That's
please
great.
read it.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Read it
So
out. Let's
cute.
hear it.
Look at us all in the Armed Detective Agency. You match the protagonist of the show. Atsushi is currently one of the show's most popular characters, and fans love his adorable and relatable sides. However, it's noteworthy that Atsushi is overly naive and has pretty low self-esteem. Your answers indicate some degree of timidity as well. Hilarious. Yeah,
Whoa.
okay. Maybe not to that extent, but okay. But the good thing is that just like Atsushi, you don't let your lack of confidence interfere with your friendships.
You know what?
You trust
That's
your
true.
friends. You trust your friends and want them to do the same with you, and that's what makes you lovely. Here's how the official Bungo fandom describes Atsushi, and we think you'd relate to it. He- so bad. He has a severely low sense of self-worth.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, enough about that. Jeez. And is somewhat naive, which causes him to feel helpless when confronted with dangerous situations initially. When paralyzed in guilt and or fear, he has difficulty reacting or understanding what to do. By the way, we think you'd definitely be a member of the Armed Detective Agency had you been an actual character in the show. Plus, you'd be an ability user with the skill of turning into an animal on demand. I
That's
like that. That's
fun.
cool.
It's
I
nice.
used to think about that all the time. I wanted to turn into a cat so bad.
Me too.
I wanted to be an animorph.
Oh
That's
yeah,
awesome.
for sure.
That's man, I think the guys who made this quiz, they really did a good job with like the character description and like the just aligning the different characters with all these questions. Although the questions were a bit repetitive at times. They just want to they
Yeah.
want to punish Port Mafia members.
I'm just gonna want to like
different
take this
ways how I
again
do
after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet though. We're the Rompos and Atsushis.
So
Yeah,
cute.
it's
They're the
fun.
best characters.
Okay, if you like, aside from like the description they gave, if you have to say like why you think you're like that character in particular, what would you say?
I think like me and Marley, I feel like we picked like it's probably because we picked some of the like some sweet answers or like caring about family or friends. That's like very much like Atsushi's motivation is he just wants to like well, he wants to like feel like he's worthy of living, but I think because of that he focuses a lot on like helping other people and he cares so much about his friends and is very brave when it comes down to it.
Great. I like your description better, Hannah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's not because we have severely low self-worth.
Yeah, that they were.
Jeez.
Yeah, they're so
Ouch.
mean.
Yeah, that was a
Ugh.
lot. I didn't even
He's the
say I
show's
had low
punching bag.
confidence. Come on.
That's
Yeah.
true. He is.
Uh,
Um, yeah, I think for me, Rampo, the part that I relate to him is like when he's trying to solve a problem, he's very like no nonsense, and he's like, let's just think about the facts. And I try to do that. And he really likes, and he's really protective as well.
yeah.
Trying to help
He's
people.
very like loyal and protective. Yeah, that's so true. That's very much like I relate to that. Loyal and
Mhm.
protective to the people he cares about, like the way he like meant like looks after Kyoka and Love, and he like cares about Dazai, and yeah, so sweet.
Yeah, because Atsushi and Rampo are kind of similar with their like wills and what they do. Yeah, I think I relate to Rampo because he's got that like particular goofy side where people wouldn't think it of me. You know, like Rampo is this known detective, so they're like, "Ah, yes, Mr. Famous Detective, thank you for helping us, sir," and you know all that stuff. And he's like 26, but he acts like a 6-year-old. And I've kind of got that like people who know me like at work. I literally had a coworker. I laughed at something she said, and she's like, "Wow, it's the first time I've seen you laugh." And I was like, "Oh, well, I swear around the right people, Meg's seen how ridiculous I can be." So,
That's
so I
funny.
kind of
That
have
makes
that. And
sense.
also, I think when the character was first introduced, like Dazai said something like, "Believe it or not, he's actually 26, and he looks like Atsushi's age." And I was like, "Oh, I can relate to having the baby face."
Oh. How old are you guys again? Are you the same age?
Yes, we are. We're 24.
Yeah, she's got half a year on me though.
Yep, she never lets me forget it.
You're
But then,
ancient.
but then never let her forget that I'm taller. So it works out.
Yeah, that's why I have to be Chuya if we cosplay Dazai and Chuya.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
you guys need to. That'd be so funny.
Well, you got like the right hair color for it, Meg.
Yep, I could be Dazai.
That's great.
Well, yeah, well that's all we had Bungo Stray Dogs wise. Do you guys have anything else you would like to discuss?
Yes.
We've said this off mic, but I want to bring up another anime that's really good that you should all watch. Wait, what was the title of it?
Cells at Work.
Yes, Cells at Work. Excellent anime.
Yes, very fun.
Very
It's
educational.
really short. I was actually low-key disappointed when it ended. I was like, oh, I was really getting into these red and white blood cells.
This is an anime about cells.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's like one season.
Yeah. It's really
I can see
funny because it's like super violent, but they're like killing bugs. So
Yeah,
it's very funny. And
And
it is pretty accurate.
it's pretty accurate. Meg did teach me some stuff that was incorrect, but like I was like, wow, this is so educational. I love this show. I'm learning so much.
We've got so many anime recommendations we could give.
I know you gave us some last time too. I need to go re-listen.
Oh yeah,
And
I rambled a bit. I remember just running my mouth.
I just need to pick one that's not like too long. Let's go for it.
Okay, one that's not too long. Erased.
Mhm.
Erased. It's another
Yeah.
detective kind of show.
That one.
Mhm.
Erased. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was going through old photos and I just found I took a picture of a list that one of my coworkers in Hawaii gave me before I left. It was like 25.
Of course, it's premium. Everything's
Well,
on premium Crunchyroll.
it was
Oh
on
no. Can I
Netflix
not watch Bungo
before.
Stray Dogs anymore?
Uh,
I was
Yeah, I
like
can't.
gonna be inspired to go watch. Oh man.
you could get the month free trial of premium if they're still doing that deal. Just
I don't think I've
binge.
done my free trial yet.
Oh, you should then. I've definitely used multiple emails for one already.
Yep. No, I pay for it and my whole family uses it.
That
And
is
then
nice then.
I use all their other streaming stuff. And then Megan uses some of mine.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
That
have my own
works.
Crunchyroll though, and sometimes my friends hop on that one, but they haven't been for a while, so just me.
Because even the premium lost a couple things. So
Mm.
it's like
Well,
putting those things good.
it's weird sometimes with what they have the rights to, because I noticed when it
Mhm.
switched from Funimation to Crunchyroll, there were some things that had dub and sub, and once it was put on Crunchyroll, just sub, no dub available.
Interesting.
Yeah. And also, like for Tokyo Revengers, they've got the first season on Crunchyroll, but then because Disney got their grubby little hands on stuff, they have it on Hulu and are not dubbing the third season apparently. So
Oh wow. That's too
we'll see
Mhm.
what happens, but
We're
we've
very
already
salty about it and have talked about it
already
multiple
ranted.
times.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But moving on from that, yeah, anything exciting gonna happen on your podcast or anything you're excited about with Haikyuu?
I mean, we're almost to the end of the like we're in the fourth season and that's the last one that's up. So that's like exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah, what are you
guess.
guys what are you gonna do when it's done and the next movie maybe won't be out yet?
That's the
Start over from
question.
episode 1 and record all new episodes.
Oh my gosh. No, that is a topic of discussion. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where we need to either like find another anime we're both like equally passionate about, or any TV show really, I guess. But it'd
That's
be,
crazy.
yeah, I mean, it should probably be relevant to anime like lovers.
Yeah, could do another sports anime. Right.
Free.
Yeah, right now we're
True.
watching Free, which is a swimming one, and it's
Yeah.
so sweet. Like
Well, Meg was a
Oh,
swimmer, so she's giving me some behind the scenes
that's
info.
fun. Well,
Yeah.
that'll be your next one.
We did talk
But yeah,
about that.
yeah.
Is
But yeah, we're on
Stone
season
Doctor
4.
Strange?
It's very fun. Sorry.
So we're doing Dr. Stone right now.
Oh, Dr. Stone.
And we have some ideas for what we're gonna do next. But
Okay. Wow. You guys got all kind of ideas.
yes, we've also watched a lot of anime, so
That's fun. And now you have such a fun outlet about that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I have people in my life besides Meg who also watch anime, and it's fun to talk to them about stuff. But it's only like two other friends that I can really deep dive into things who care about
Mm.
story structure and all that stuff.
Mm.
So otherwise, it's just me like, you know, when I'm talking to my family and they're like, "What have you been up to?" And I'm like, I started a new show."
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know. Is
but
there what are you gonna say?
sorry. But yeah, like we're on season 4 of Haikyuu, which has been really fun. It's just a good season. Lots of like some new characters, so we've been enjoying it. And of course, there are still movies to look forward to. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, hopefully they'll keep animating. I mean, there's so much like the time skip too would be so fun if they did like a season or a movie of that.
Yeah,
Right.
I have volumes of Haikyuu, but I collected the first 10 and then I was like, I gotta stop.
Right.
Like
I can't
my
buy them all.
dream exactly. My dream is to one day have them all, but I need
Be
a like a
gradual.
yeah, I need it to be gradual. I need more room. I need to be in a place where I'm not gonna move out of it at the end of the year. And
Yeah.
yeah, and like
So many
but
mangas.
but then when the movie came out, it's like, oh, I'll get the manga that have what's in the movie. And I'm missing one of them. I'm missing the start of the game, but I've got the other two volumes that have the middle and the end of the game, which is what I wanted to
Nice.
see.
Cool.
And I did allow myself to read ahead just a teeny bit because that last volume had the start of Bokuto's next match in it.
Oh my
They have to
God.
animate it. They
I hope
have
they
to.
do. I
That's
know a
one thing though,
little.
like we could keep reading that anime.
True,
Like that's
but
what
it
or the
like
The manga,
manga.
yeah.
Like that's what happened when I finished Bungo Stray Dogs show. I was like, I can't, I have to read it. So I've been like keeping up with the manga now.
Yeah, I if I
A lot.
start a show before I start the manga, I usually want to watch it as the show before I go back to the source material. But I did for the Haikyuu volumes, I'm like, since I own it now, I should just read it, and I'm sure there's not going to be too much, but it did give me like just an appetite to see
Ugh.
Bokuto's match, especially because Akashi is a character I really, really like and
Love Akashi.
can relate to in some levels, and I think he's going to have a lot of good moments in that.
I want to see so bad. I know that it did really well in the box office, so since
Mhm.
they said at one point we're probably going to do a second, and it did go really well, I'm assuming that they'll do the next one, but who knows how long it's going to take.
Yeah. It was beautifully animated though, so if they have to take their sweet time, they can take their sweet time.
Yeah,
It's true.
totally.
It was like totally worth
so
the
true.
wait.
Yeah.
I did grab my two. I have two Bungo Stray Dogs
Hang on. Where am I?
books. And one I bought as soon as the anime finished. I was like, I need this is not the most recent season, but the one before. I was like, I need to know what happens. So I went and bought the manga. And then I just found
Yeah.
this one at a used bookstore. So I have
Meg,
two.
you have one of my books at your place.
Have not read it yet.
That's
And I think
okay.
I've had it for almost a year at this
It's
point.
just it's almost exactly a year because it's when we took our trip. Anyway, but it's the book about when Dazai joined the detective agency, which was animated, so you know it's not like
Yeah.
we have seen it, but it's cool to have the book.
That's
But
so cool.
I have the Rompo story, of course, and then
So good.
Stormbringer because I was going to just rent it from the library, but nowhere had it at all. So I was looking for it online and I couldn't get it online, not even on Amazon for a while. And then one day I was in a Barnes and Noble and it was on the shelf and I snatched it as fast as I could.
Damn.
Cool.
Made a beeline for the checkout.
Someone's gonna take it from me.
But then I also found so the short series they did of like Dazai and Chuya when they were 15 that they animated. The person who does
My
Bungo
favorite.
Stray Dogs, yeah, the person who does Bungo Stray Dogs Beast, the mangaka behind that also did the adaptation for them when they were 15.
It's such a cool design.
Yeah, they
I
look so
love those
different.
panels.
It's a little, I don't know, I feel like the manga goes a little more hardcore in terms of like violence for that, but
Probably.
I do like the art style. I don't know. Dazai and Chuya. Gotta love them.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for coming on and for everybody listening to this bonus episode.
Thanks for
Super
having
Thank you so
fun.
much for
on.
having us. It's
Yeah.
always fun to chat with you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah, and definitely go check out the Haikyuu Summit if you haven't yet.
They're more popular than us. I'm sure they've checked it out if they're here. All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.